Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the chart or final signature in a natal chart. Now, to find out what your chart signature is, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the elements and see what majority you have in terms of the elements, and you're going to look at the 10 planets, the ascendant, and MC, and see if you have more in earth, majority in air, majority in fire, or water. Now, then you're going to do the same for the quality, which consists of the mutable, cardinal, and fixed signs. And what you do is you take those two together, and let's say you have the majority of signs in water, for example, and then you have most of the signs in fixed signs. Now that would equate to a final signature of Scorpio, because that would be water plus fixed. Now this could give a strong flavoring to a chart, this chart signature. However, I don't think it necessarily supersedes or overpowers the sun, moon, or ascendant, because those are very strong proponents in one's horoscope. The consistent belief on the chart signature, though, is it gives the overall kind of that character or tone to the chart. My feeling on it is that it gives an additional flavoring, maybe in addition to the sun, moon, or ascendant. I don't really believe it's as even important as one of those three, but that is just my own perception and belief on that. Now, the chart signature in someone's chart may be something where the person may feel they need to work on those attributes or improve certain characteristics that are associated with that sign. So say if somebody had Taurus as their final signature in their natal chart, they may feel that they need to work on maybe the persistent and stability and the persevering qualities in them, and they may be looking for greater ability to make money and financial acumen. That could be something that would be maybe connected with somebody that had their chart signature in Taurus, for example. Now, it's possible now for someone to have a chart signature in a sign that doesn't fall in any of the 10 planets, ascendant or midheaven. Now, someone could have a preponderance of energies in fire, say Leo and Sagittarius, and let's say they had the majority as far as the quality of signs there between mutable, cardinal, and fixed. Let's say they had the majority in cardinal signs, and those signs they had were Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. Now, fire and cardinal equate to Aries, so that person could actually have they would have their chart signature in Aries, but yet wouldn't have Aries in any of their 10 planets, ascendant or MC. So there are some isolated examples where that could actually happen, and that could give that, of course, that Aries flavoring to the chart where the person previously thought they lacked before. Now, it's also possible to have a tie between two. For example, you could have 4 elements in air and 4 in earth and 7 in fixed signs. Now, you would have actually one chart signature in Aquarius. That would be the combination of air and fixed. And you could have one in Taurus, which would be earth and fixed. Now, in that event, look at the one that has the more of the, I guess you could say, the personal planets and or ascendant MC, and whichever one has more of that, that would be the tiebreaker. Now, if you do that and it's still a tie, then you may actually have 2 final or chart signatures. Some people may think that you wouldn't have one if it's a tie, but I would, it may be improper or inappropriate to beg, but I would beg to differ. I think you can have 2 chart signatures, and you could get that added or additional flavoring of those 2 signs in that instance. Now, I do believe that the chart signature is important. It can play an integral role in the person's chart, but as I stated before, I don't really, I don't see it as something where it's necessarily going to give that overall character or feel, but that is the consistent, as far as you say, the consistent definition of it, or the way people see it. So it's up to the person. Some people may think it is, and that is what it is. That's really what it is by how most people perceive it. But in my experience, I don't really necessarily believe that it goes as far as giving that general feel or tone of that person in the chart. Now, but that is just my own belief on it, and I'm sure there's other people that may even have different viewpoints or vantage points on how the chart signature is actually going to impact the person in terms of their natal chart and how it affects their demeanor and their character. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the chart or final signature in a person's natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be starting the final signature, I guess you could say, this in the signs. And I'm going to start, of course, with Aries and talk about Aries as someone's final or chart signature. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.